Most people believe their pain comes from others. What they did hurt me. What they said destroyed me. I can't forgive them. But if you look closely, very rarely is someone intentionally sitting and planning your suffering. People are simply acting from their own nature, their own conditioning, their own level of awareness. They are not acting against you. They are acting from themselves. And unless someone is physically harming you, the emotional pain you feel is not being inserted into you from outside. It is something your mind is creating in response. That is difficult to accept because it removes the role of the villain in your story, but it also gives you something powerful back control. There is no such thing as a perfect human being. No one will consistently behave in a way that never disturbs you. No one will always speak correctly. No one will always meet your emotional expectations. The expectation that someone should never hurt you is not love, it is fantasy. And when you live inside that fantasy, you will always feel disappointed. You will either become angry at people or slowly withdraw from them entirely. Either way, you lose connection with life because life is not designed to be perfectly comfortable. It is designed to be real. Now, this does not mean tolerate everything. There are two clear situations where distance is necessary. First, if there is physical threat or harm. There is no philosophy there. You leave. Second, if the environment consistently prevents you from functioning, growing, or being effective. But walking away should not be based on emotional injury alone, because if emotional discomfort becomes your only reason to escape life situations, you will end up walking away from everything. Relationships, work, growth, even yourself. Let me share something simple. I once met an elderly woman in my store. Every time I met her, she greeted me like it was the first time. Warm smile, fresh curiosity, no emotional baggage from yesterday. Others around her would say, she has memory issues, something is wrong. But watching her, there was something interesting. She wasn't carrying yesterday into today, and that made her strangely light. Now, I'm not glorifying a medical condition. That is not the point. The point is this. Most people are suffering not from what is happening now, but from what they are repeatedly remembering. You are not only living today, you are reliving yesterday, again and again, emotionally. You think, I cannot forget what they did, but the real question is not whether you can forget. The real question is, why are you continuing to feed that memory with emotion? Because the event is over, but the replay is still active, and the mind, if left unchecked, becomes a courtroom where the past is endlessly prosecuted. You said this, you did that, they betrayed me, they should suffer. This is where revenge is born, not in action, but in thought repetition. Revenge feels powerful in imagination. Resentment feels justified, but both are just forms of internal repetition. You are not hurting the other person. You are rehearsing your own pain, and the longer you rehearse it, the more real it becomes inside you. At some point, you are no longer reacting to what happened. You are reacting to your memory of it, and that memory is no longer truth. It is interpretation, repeated so many times, it feels like identity. The moment you realize this, something important happens. You are not suffering because of life. You are suffering because your mind refuses to stop continuing life that is already over. And once you see that clearly, you don't need revenge. You don't need to win the argument in your head. You don't need to carry resentment as protection, because the only person it is damaging is you. And in that realization, something very simple becomes possible. Not forgiveness as a moral act, but freedom as a natural state. Freedom from replay, freedom from overthinking, freedom from emotional repetition. And that is the end of suffering, not because life changed, but because you stopped continuing it inside your head.